What are predicates? How do we define a predicate in Java? Why do you even need a predicate? Can we create a chain of predicates? Let's find out.
Let's head straight to the Java documentation of predicates. So predicates are Boolean valued functions of one argument. So that means they take one argument of type T. So it could be anything. It could be wrapper classes, integers, booleans, longs, or it could be any other object as input, and then it generates a Boolean value of output. Okay, if it matches the criteria. Okay, but not just this, it has some other default methods as well as static methods. Okay, so we shall see some of these in the further part of the video. Okay, so this is a predicate. So let's see a basic example of a predicate. So here we have defined a predicate which is nothing but a filter. So predicates are nothing but filters which we define to filter out any collection of data or collection of objects. Okay, so here we have defined a filter or the predicate by this lambda function, wherein we are taking a string input and we are saying is if it is not empty, then return true. Okay, so now we have taken a list of strings here, some string values, and what we are doing here is we are filtering out the non-empty strings from this collection by using this filter. So strings.stream.filter, and then we are applying that filter, that predicate which we have defined, dot collect, and we are collecting it as list. So here what happens is this filter gets applied to this collection and then we will get the resultant list. So let us run this. So as you can see, the data is filtered and we got only the strings that are not empty. Okay, so this is one part. So why do we have to use predicates? So why can't we directly give this lambda function in the filter and then filter it out? So generally in real world what happens is you have many hundreds of classes, okay, and then you can't keep defining lambda functions everywhere. So even for empty or for not null scenarios or for anything whatsoever, so you cannot keep on writing lambda functions everywhere. So if you have similar filtering criteria, what you can do is you can define predicates and then use that predicate across your classes. Okay, so that is the way predicates can be useful in the real world. So now see what is predicate chaining. So as we saw, not just one method, the predicate class has other default and static methods as well. So here what we can do is we can use two predicates and we can chain them together. So here we have defined, so the first filter is greater than 80. So we are taking one integer and if it is greater than 80, it will return true. And then we have defined another filter, another predicate, and it will take an integer and if it is less than 90, it will return as true. Okay, so now we will use the test method, but before the test method, we are going to chain these two filters together by using the AND operator. So what we are saying is I am giving this as input. Okay, I want to test this integer value. So whether it is greater than 80 or less than 90. So what we can do is we can use the first filter dot and less than 90 dot. This is the actual method of the predicate which we have to call, which we have to test. So this integer we are testing against these two filters. Okay, so similarly, and we will also have OR. So either it is greater than 80 or less than 90. Okay, this is going to check that. And then and OR, and we have negate as well. So if it will check if it is greater than 80, and if it is yes, if it is true, then it will negate that true to false. And if it is false, it will make that false as true. So it will give the negation value. Okay, so let us see the output of these. Okay, so 81 we have passed first. So it is greater than 80 and less than 90. So it is true. And 91 greater than 80 or less than 90. It's greater than 80. So this condition has passed. So that is why it has returned as true. And the last one, greater than 80, yes, but we are negating it and that is why we got false. So this is predicate chaining. So now let us make it more, let us increase the complexity now. So let us go to the collections. So here I have an employee object with the first name, last name, and its getters and setters. So now we have also populated some details already by taking the list of this employees. Okay. So now what we are doing is we are defining a filter to search the common last name. Okay. So here we have written that lambda function. Okay. So now what we will do is we will take the stream of this list of list of employees, and then apply that filter, and then we are collecting as toList. So earlier in the basic example, we have done it on normal strings, list of strings, but here we are using list of objects. Okay, so let us see the output of this one as well. So as you can see, we just got the two names. The third name we did not get. And how am I getting the strings? Because we have overridden the toString method in the class. Okay, and then the most trickiest one is the using predicates with enum. So this is something very different concept which most of us don't make use of. Okay, so here what we are doing is, this is a fuzzy integer problem. Okay, so fuzzy integer is nothing but some integer between a range of values. So here if it lies between 9 and 10, it is true. 7 and 9 almost true. So there are some strings defined here. Okay, so here what we can do is, if we have like this, like multiple filters, if we have, so we can create an enum, and then we can use implement predicate for that enum, and then each of the value of the enum we can use it as a predicate. So here each of this enumeration value acts as a predicate for us. Okay, so as you can see, we have defined the enum and we are implementing the predicate, the functional interface we are implementing. So when you implement this predicate, you have to override this boolean method which is there in predicate, right? Because that is just the one method which is there, which is not default or static, so we have to implement that. So here we are taking the type as integer, input as integer, and we will test that integer against each of these predicates which are present. Okay, so predicate.test. Okay, so each of these predicates is initialized with this constructor. Okay, so we are not going to learn about enums here, so we are going to learn just the predicates. So here we have defined the enum predicate. Okay, we have all the list of predicates, and then we will be testing the incoming value with the given predicates. So this is the main method wherein we are generating some random integer value. Okay, we have used the math library and we are generating the random integer value. So here what we are doing is, we are just taking a stream of these values, which is nothing but all the predicates, and then we are filtering. So with all the predicates, we are going to filter by testing. So we are just testing this integer, what it returns, true, false, whatever, and for each of it we are going to print the value. So let us run this. So as you can see, it returns, so the integer, the random integer which we got generated, that is 2. So if you see, 2 false between 1 and 3. So that is why it got filtered with this predicate, that is almost false. Okay, so out of all the values, this one has given us true. The others were all false. So it has returned just this almost false as the value. Okay, because that integer has matched with this predicate. Okay, and then we are printing. So let us try to run this again, and let's try to generate some other number. Okay, we got 3 again. Let us try it again. Okay, 10. So this time we got 10. So as you can see, if it is greater than 9 and less than or equal to 10, it should return the value true. So that is why it has filtered that particular value and given us the result as true. Okay.
So now let us see some of the interview questions and answers you could be asked.
What is a predicate in Java? So it is a functional interface that we have seen. It was introduced in Java version 8, and it represents a boolean valued function that takes one single argument of a specific type and returns either true or false. How do you define a predicate in Java? So we have seen many examples. It can be defined using this syntax. We are using this predicate class. For example, predicate string And if here the example says if the length of the string is greater than 5, it will return true. What is the use of predicate in Java? So it is used to test a given condition on an object or a collection of objects and return a true or false, the boolean value based on that condition. What is the difference between predicate and function? So a predicate will take a single argument, whereas a function can take one or more arguments and it returns any value, but whereas a predicate will return only a boolean value. What is negate method in predicate? So this negate method, what we have seen is if the logical operation gives true, this negate would make it false and return false. How do you chain predicates in Java? So we have seen that we can use either and or, and two predicates we can chain together. What is the test method in predicate in Java? So this is the main method actually. This is the test is the main one in predicate, and it is used to apply the predicate to a given argument and return a boolean value based on the result. How do you use predicate with streams in Java? We have seen a good example of it. So it can be used with strings to filter elements based on the given condition. So from the string we can filter the elements.
If you like this video, do hit the like button, and for more such exciting content, do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.